Hello everyone, and in this video I'd like to show you a very exciting chess game by the legendary Keres, who had the white pieces, and his opponent was Vladimir Petrov, one of the leading chess players, Soviet chess players at the time, who was Latvian Russian. So this was from the USSR Chess Championship from 1940 in Moscow. So this is a must-see chess game, and of course, as we all know, Keres was one of the greatest chess players ever who never won the World Chess Championship title, just like Akiba Rubinstein and Viktor Korchnoi. So he's also known as Paul II. So let's quickly check out what happened in this fantastic chess game. Keres starts the game with e4 and we have e5. And then f4, and this is King's Gambit. Usually accepting the King's Gambit is a very good move and one of the most played moves. But in this position, Vladimir Petrov played d5, and this is the Falkbeer counter-gambit. Well, an amateur might immediately decide to capture the e-pawn, f takes on e5, and that would lose immediately. That would lose instantly on the spot. So, of course, Keres was not an amateur, and he played the correct move, e takes on d5. And for those who doesn't know what happens if f takes on e5, which would be a terrible blunder, and just to make this little bit more entertaining, so it's a very funny line, if f takes on e5, then white is losing on the spot. Can you see black's next move? Okay, queen to h4, checking the king, and there is only two legal moves for white. One is g3 and the other moves is king to e2. And all of them is losing. So if g3, then of course queen takes on e4 and forking the king and the rook. And white can even resign in this position. White can play queen to e2, but black can safely capture the rook on h1. And after queen to h4, of course, king to e2, well, it looks disgusting to say the least. Then queen takes on e4. So king to f2, bishop to c5, and now what? So if d4, bishop takes on d4, and it's game over. Okay, so just for fun, I decided to show that as well in Falkbeer counter-gambit. That was a variation. Of course, Keres played e takes on d5 and then e4, d3, normal stuff, developing the pieces and developing the bishop. White can't castle, but checking the king, not exchanging the queens, knight to e5, and black castled, knight to e4, exchanging the knights, and then we have g6, defending the checkmate threat. Well, queen takes on h7 was the threat. So we have b4, and black played, in my opinion, a bad move. Black played bishop to e7. Well, bishop to b6 would be better. Still occupying the diagonal, and it looks annoying. So we have bishop to e7, and then bishop to b2, placing the bishop in the on b2, and from this long diagonal, as you can see, black has some weakness in the dark squares. So Keres is placing his bishop in here so that he is aiming the king. And we have bishop to f6. I think this was a time-wasting move. Developing the knight would be better, but we have bishop to f6, and in this position Keres decided to castle from the queen side. So even if black actually would play bishop to b6, Keres was going to castle from the queen side. That was his plan, with pushing his b-pawn, placing the bishop on b2 and sacrificing his a2 pawn. He of course considered sacrificing his pawn, because actually, if queen takes on a2, there is a pretty nice winning combination for white. But black didn't fall for it, and black played knight to c6. Of course, we are going to check out what happens if queen takes on a2. What did Keres solve in his mind's eye? So this is what he solved. Bishop to c4, and, well, what else? Defending the queen, and then bishop takes on f7. Well, you might say, hold on. Why not capturing the bishop with the rook and getting two minor pieces for the rook? But in this position, if rook takes on f7, then queen to d5. How to defend? Queen takes on f7. Well, also undeveloping undeveloped pieces of black in the queen side is also looking very bad, and that is going to be a big problem for black in this chess game. So if defending with the queen anyway, then knight takes on f7, and this is losing on the spot, because if queen takes on f7, bishop takes on f6, and the queen is pinned. White has the exchange, and white also has a winning position. But it is not that simple. So what happens if bishop takes on e5? Then queen takes on e5, and how to defend actually, seriously? How to defend the checkmate threat? Queen to h8, checkmate. Actually, there is no sensible defense in this position. So after queen to d5, which is a bone-crushing move, a killer move, queen goes back, knight takes, and you might also think what happens if bishop takes on b2, then king takes, queen takes, but queen to d8, forking the king and the bishop, and if blocking with the queen, well, check, and this open d file is going to win for white. It is going to be a winning position for white, forking the king and the bishop again. So this is what Paul Keres saw in his mind's eye. Okay, interesting stuff. So after castling from the queen side, well, you can see that Paul Keres was quite a deep chess player. He is considered by many chess experts as a super chess grandmaster, a very strong chess player. So we have knight to c6, finally developing the knight. And then we have h4, so Paul Keres is unleashing pawn storm in the king side. He castled from the queen side and unleashing pawn storm, and g4 it is. Pawn storm it is. Bishop takes on e5, and well, Paul Keres is sacrificing a pawn. So if exchanging the queens, well, black is doing better, I think. So white is a pawn down. But Keres played queen to e3, and look at the bishops of Paul Keres. They are aiming the king like a heat-seeking missile. But Paul Keres, with this move, he is sacrificing one more pawn. Knight takes on b4. So Keres is 2 pawns down. But what was his idea? Well, you can see he has the bishop pair, and his bishops are incredibly effective. And you will see the power of the bishops of Keres. He played e6, sacrificing one more pawn, but not accepting the delicious pawn, knight to d5. If capturing the pawn, then queen to h6, and good luck defending the checkmate threat. The bishop to queen, I mean, this is just fatal for black. So if f6, then bishop takes on g6, it is, well, pretty much game over actually. This is losing. So after e6, a very cool move indeed, we have knight to d5, attacking the queen, but Keres played an incredible move. Now maybe defending the queen comes to mind in this position. Of course, first of all, he captured the pawn. This is check. After rook takes on f7, now he played an incredible move. I mean, seriously, an incredible move. Knight is attacking the queen. So maybe defending the queen comes to mind. But can you see the next move for white? How should white play in this position? Can you see a creative move, which is not very easy to find, in my opinion? It could be tricky. But let me give you a few seconds, so maybe you can think and find the next move of the legendary Paul Keres. Paul Keres even has a monument in his hometown in Tallinn, I believe, in Estonia, and that monument is a piece of art. You should check that out. Maybe in Tallinn or maybe in some other city in Estonia. It is just simply one of the most beautiful chess statues, chess monuments that I have ever seen. Maybe one day I will show that picture. I will show the monument. Anyway, so Keres played bishop to c4. He is sacrificing the queen and also the bishop. And Petrov didn't accept it. He played c6, and of course we are going to check out what happens if accepting the queen. Well, there is a back rank issue, and like I said, this undeveloped bishop is blocking the rook, and this is why black has a back rank issue. So black has a development issue in this position. So if king to h7, well, this is getting checkmated. The bishop is occupying the diagonal and supporting the rook. So in this position, of course, there is no other move. Actually, this is the king to h7 is the only move because the rook is pinned. So after bishop to c4, if queen takes on c4, then check, and well, if king to h7, it is no good, getting checkmated. And if rook to f8, getting checkmated again. So the idea is with playing bishop to c6, with sacrificing the bishop, deflecting the queen. So if queen takes on c4, the queen is no longer defending the g pawn. So checkmate. There is no queen on g4 defending the pawn. This is mate. So okay, bishop to c4, and what a move. Seriously, what a move. In this position, we have c6, not accepting any of the sacrifice of Paul Keres. But in this position, Paul Keres played a very cool move. Well, he played rook takes on d5, incredible stuff. And we have queen takes on c4. Why not accepting the exchange sacrifice? Then again, the bishop is blocking the rook. I mean, this is terrible. We have check, and if king to h7, getting checkmated, and if rook to f8, bishop takes on d5, and there is no good defense in this position. There is no sensible defense. So rook takes on d5, and what a move. And we have queen takes on c4, and Keres played check, blocking with the rook. Well, king to h7 again is going to fail to queen to h8, checkmate. So after checking the king, we have rook to f8. I don't know, I have no idea why Vladimir Petrov didn't resign in this position, because actually he's getting checkmated in one move. Paul Keres played queen takes on g6. Checkmate. Fantastic. Absolutely incredible. We see checkmate on the board. What a brutal checkmate, and what a creative, beautiful chess game by Paul Keres. And I have a very nice picture to show you. So this is the picture between Paul Keres and Vladimir Petrov. And look at the spectator. They want to see the chess game so badly, isn't it? And look at their clothes. They look pure class. It's hard to find people like this in these days, unfortunately. So they look simply so classy, and what a beautiful picture, what a beautiful picture in high quality. Okay, so Paul Keres is on the right, of course, and Petrov on the left. I like to say a few things about Vladimir Petrov. He was indeed, so this is Vladimir Petrov next to a woman, maybe that's his wife. Actually, Vladimir Petrov, who was Latvian Russian, so I decided to give some informations about this chess player as well before signing out, because it is interesting and it is quite tragic and sad. His life story is very tragic. So he was actually one of the, again, strongest chess players from the Soviet Union. He was originally from Latvia, and unfortunately, eventually the Soviet Union occupied Latvia, and he decided to criticize the Soviet occupation of Latvia. He criticized the living conditions of Latvia under Soviet occupation. And because of his comments, because of his political comments, he got sentenced to jail for 10 years just because of his opinions, his political opinions about the living conditions in Latvia. Unbelievable. And unfortunately, because of the poor living conditions in the prison, he died. He was only 35 years old, so his life story, his story is one of the most tragic in the chess history, and he was indeed, I mean, not in this chess game, of course. He played pretty badly against Keres. It happens sometimes, but he was actually a very strong chess player, and he also defeated Paul Keres when he was in his good day. He defeated Keres as well, and he also defeated many other strong chess players. So Alexei Shurov, who is also Latvian, he decided to make a memorial chess tournament for his memory in 2012. Okay, so unfortunately he died very young, so that's why maybe you never heard about this chess player because of his pretty sad, tragic story. Anyway, so maybe we will check out one of his chess games as well in the future. So, but this game was simply a disastrous chess game for Vladimir Petrov. And thank you very much for watching. This video was a little bit more longer. Sometimes I can make longer videos as well. So I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games. Just stay safe, take care, and bye bye.